Okay, everybody, it's 1 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. This is Stephanie Taylor, Sales Director at Crowe Associates. We also have Lisa on the line, and we have Mark and Greg. They are here to talk with us today about Best Plan Pro. A couple of things before we get started, before I pass it over to them. As most of you know, if you've been on our webinars before, you know that these are all recorded. Anybody that's registered for the webinar will get the recording emailed to them, if not later today, then tomorrow. So if you have to drop off for any reason and you're worried about missing it, you can definitely catch up with it later. If you have questions about anything that we discussed today, you can always reach out to the office or myself or Mark and Greg. They're going to give their contact information as well. So we can always help you out if you have questions after the fact. If you guys have questions during the presentation, please go ahead and put them in the question box. I'm not going to interrupt the presentation, but I am going to be monitoring the box, and we'll make sure that all your questions get answered by the end. And with that, are you guys ready to go?
Hey, yes, we are ready to go over here.
Okay, you guys are both listed as Greg Yotis
Oh,
as
okay.
presenters. So I'll
Okay,
give one of the Greg Yotis's permission to take over the screen, and you
I
can let
got
me
you.
know if that doesn't work.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Oh, I think I was can you do the other Greg Yoda?
Yeah.
The other Greg Yotis. Let's see, maybe.
Yeah, we got two on here
Let's try the
apparently.
other Greg Yotis.
Okay, perfect. There we go. I am the other Greg Yotis. Thank you all so much for joining today. My name is Mark Bolger. I'm with Pinnacle Financial Services, the agent care specialist. We do everything from life, annuities, final expense, long-term care. Greg and I and Bill Vandergrift, we run the department here for those products over at Pinnacle. So we certainly appreciate everybody coming on today. Can you see my screen okay, Stephanie?
Yep, I muted myself.
Oh,
I
okay. Oh,
absolutely can
sorry
see
about
it.
that.
So thank you.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So we certainly appreciate everybody jumping on today. So Best Plan Pro is actually a new software that we just got maybe a couple months ago, and it is really, really cool because it really takes out all the guesswork as far as like the underwriting, which plan, for final expense is going to be the best one for my client. I've never sold one before. I have no idea what the health questions are. There's so many to choose from. Where do I start? I mean, this is something we get all the time. What are your best final expense carriers? Really all depends on what your client's looking for. Every client is different. They have different needs, different health issues, different budget amounts, all that kind of stuff. So what Best Plan Pro does is it takes all that guesswork out. And just in a matter of minutes, you can sit there and quote and compare all of the carriers that we offer here at Pinnacle to find the best final expense product for your client based on any medications that they're taking, any health issues that they have, and regarding their budget, and any of that stuff. So what you see here on the screen is, just a quick summary about it. We talk about the medication handling. So Best Plan Pro, it's automatically going to consider those generics and adds new medications weekly. So they have a database of over 100,000 different medications in there. So a lot of times, like me, I'm not good with, the medication names, especially spelling them. So what's cool is, we're going to do a demo here in a couple minutes, but you'll see that, if your client's taking, lisinopril or, one of these medications where you're like, how do I even start to spell that? It's cool because it'll autofill. So if you just type in the first couple letters of that medication, you'll be able to pull it up. So it's really cool like that. Some other things too, we could put in the age limits, face value restrictions, state exclusions. So, if you're running, a quote for a client that's in Connecticut, it's only going to populate carriers that are available in Connecticut, and it's only going to populate carriers that your client will qualify for. So it's really cool. Again, it's going to take out all the guesswork. And again, you can do this with multiple carriers. It includes all of the final expense carriers that are available for agents to sell. what's cool too is, a lot of times agents will say, well, I don't want 15 carriers to show my clients. Let's say you're set up with, to sell 2 or 3 different final expense carriers. You can select those 3 carriers just to show up in your results, so that no matter what you're putting in there, it's going to be, a company that you're already contracted with and a company that you're already familiar with as well. So best thing to do is I'm going to show you guys a demo. That's really how you guys are going to, really see the benefit of this. But before we start the demo here, we actually offer a discounted rate for this Best Plan Pro. So normally, if you were to go and just sign up with this, outside of Pinnacle or outside of Crowe and Associates, it would cost you $60 a month for that. So if you come in and you're, a Crowe agent, or if you're, with us here through Pinnacle, we can offer it for only $19.95 per month. And usually agents, if you're submitting like at least a minimum of 5 final expense apps per month, we'll waive that cost for you. We'll pay that for you 100%. So, like I said, as long as we're seeing some business coming in, that's that's something that we can certainly pick up for you guys. So what you want to do is, after the demo and after this call today, if you are interested in this, and I'll send this out to Stephanie so she can send it out to everybody that's on the call. But you could just email myself or give us a call. We have a special code for you guys to type in to get this discounted rate that we exclusively have to send to you, like, individually and everything. So we'll get you that information out right after the call here. So a lot of times with the Best Plan Pro, we'll just do like a quick case study here. I have a client, his name's David. I got his date of birth, 9/4/61, his height and weight. Maybe in talking with David, I found out he's just looking for, something to cover his funeral costs. $10,000 is a good place to start. He doesn't have any major medical issues. However, he is taking a few prescription medications. I listed lisinopril here, which he's prescribed for high blood pressure, and he was approximately prescribed about 5 years ago, and the treatment is ongoing, meaning he's taking this daily. The other medication is Lipitor. It was prescribed for elevated cholesterol approximately 3 years ago, and the treatment is ongoing. So with that information, this is the main page for Best Plan Pro. And let me see if I can kind of...
And just if I can jump in while Mark is getting ready to do the demo, I just want to reiterate, why this is important. When you're dealing with the clients, having a good idea of what their health issues are, what medication are on. I mean, in this day and age, the average person's probably on about 2 to 3 medications. So it just lets you give them a realistic idea of where they would come in for their risk class, or, to weeding out any carriers that they may not qualify for. So it's just going to save you time and energy for searching that, and set a realistic expectation based on what their health issue is when they apply. So,
right, exactly. Thanks, Greg. That was great. So this is just the main page of Best Plan Pro. You can see it's very, very user friendly. It's just asking us just a little bit of information that we can put in on our client. So with this example for David here, we're going to do 9/4/1961. It populates his age, shows he's age 63. We can put in his height and weight, 6'2", 187 pounds, male. It's going to ask us about their nicotine usage with final expense. As long as they are nicotine tobacco-free for at least 1 year, then they can apply for a non-tobacco rate. So if they quit smoking 3-4 years ago, that's no problem. We can get them non-tobacco rates. So we'll just say he is a non-smoker. We'll keep that at never. And we can select his state. We'll do Connecticut. He's looking for $10,000 of coverage. Now, another thing I can do is, instead of solving for the face amount, I can actually solve based on the client's budget. So let's say his budget was, $100 a month. I can solve for a death benefit based on that. So that's kind of a cool feature there. Okay, so 10,000 death benefit, and I don't want it to restrict any results. I want it to show everything that's available for this client out there. Okay. So next, again, if your client doesn't, no health conditions, no medications, in that rare event, you don't have to put anything down there. You can literally just click Run Quote, and it will run that for you. But in this case, we know that we know what medications he's taking. A lot of times too, if you're talking to a client over the phone, they may not remember the name of the medication, but they know what health condition they have. So you can solve for it either way, which is a great thing. So in this case, remember, he's taking lisinopril for his high blood pressure. And what's cool is, again, I can just type in the first couple letters of the medication, and I can find it that way. And okay, so it was prescribed to treat high blood pressure. It's going to give all the known uses of this specific medication in here, so you can select why they were prescribed this. So we're going to go down to high blood pressure, and it is controlled. And if you know the daily dosage, that's great. If not, no problem. You can leave that blank. And then we know that this was prescribed roughly about 5 years ago, and the treatment is ongoing. So I go ahead and click Save there, and you'll see that it adds that medication as well as the health condition. Okay, so that's one medication. The second one is Lipitor that he is taking for high cholesterol. I can just type in, actually I can just look over here, high cholesterol, and I can leave the dosage blank. And then he was prescribed this 3 years ago, and the treatment is ongoing. Perfect. So we have the health conditions, the medications, the amount of death benefit that he's looking for, and then his date of birth and his height and weight. Perfect. Now we can click Analyze Data. So this is going to go through all the final expense carriers that Pinnacle offers, and it's going to come up with literally the best rate and the best plan that has that best rate. And anything that populates here, we know that the client will be able to qualify for. So excellent. So, we see Transamerica with their preferred option. I know that's definitely the best rate that they can get when you see a preferred. You see Mutual of Omaha in there. The pricing's, within a couple cents there. Foresters, Cigna, a whole bunch of these companies, he'll basically qualify for any of these. And the reason for that is a lot of these companies, being simplified issue with just the yes/no health questions, they only look back usually 2 years for some of these conditions. So we know that he was prescribed these medications 3 years ago and 5 years ago. So he's outside of that 2-year window. So that's why you're seeing that pretty much every company is acceptable. Now, another great thing from this is I can click on any of these carriers, and it's going to give me, the monthly premium. It's going to give me the quarterly, semi-annual, and annual premium. It's going to give me a little bit of information about the carrier, phone number, what type of applications that they accept. They have e-apps, paper apps, etc. If there's a phone interview required, what type of riders are available, etc. But the greatest thing here is you can click at the top, click here to access the e-app. So once you click that, it's going to take you right over, in this case, it would log me in right to Transamerica's website. It would take me right to their e-app portal. If I do the same thing with, let's say, Mutual of Omaha, same thing. It's going to give me, some information about the product, the quote, and then I can click there to access the e-app, and it'll take me right over to Mutual of Omaha's website where I'll log in and go ahead and submit that e-app. Again, really for any of these companies that you click on, United Home Life, it'll take you right to the e-app. Corebridge, take you right to the e-app. This is something that we have not had in the past with our final expense. We really just had the FEX quoting software where it just gives you a quick quote, and then you got to go close out of that page and open up a new tab to go locate the e-app and stuff. So this is all one-stop shop. You don't have to open multiple windows and click back and refresh the pages and all that kind of stuff. So very, very streamlined and very very, very simple to understand. A couple things up here too, like I mentioned earlier, we can set the available products under the settings. So right now I have all the carriers that Pinnacle offers. You can see that there's a bunch that we don't offer that are still in here. So sometimes brokers or agents have multiple uplines and they might have a few contracts somewhere else, no problem. You can certainly quote that all through this Best Plan Pro. But again, like, I don't have to show all the carriers that I'm contracted with. I could just show, let's say, maybe Mutual of Omaha, Royal Neighbors, and let's say, United Home Life. And if I deselect the rest of those, I'm only going to get results from those 3 carriers. So again, it's just going to really, save you so much time, streamline the process, and, make these so that it's a one phone call close with the client. You can collect all this information with them right over the phone. You can literally do this, enter this information in as you're talking to the client and, pull up the quote, access the e-app, talk to the client through the e-app, and then, within 20, 25 minutes, you could get, the sale completed and, you're paid and then move on to the next client. So it's that simple. It's just really, really such a time saver, and we're really glad to have this. Another thing that you'll notice too is they do offer the term insurance as well. Now, it is not fully underwritten term. It's only the simplified issue term products. So we're kind of limited to a handful of carriers like Americo, Mutual of Omaha, Foresters, Transamerica, ones that offer the simplified issue, yes, no health questions for their term products. So I know that it was recently in beta testing for the term, but I think that was a couple months ago, and they've kind of worked out a lot of the kinks. So you can certainly do this as well for that simplified issue term. Again, most of the simplified issue term is going to be limited to sometimes maybe 300,000 or 400,000 for the death benefit. So if you do try and enter something in that isn't available, like if you try and do like $3 million or something for the death benefit, you might get like like an error message saying that the maximum quotable is like 500,000 or something like that. So let's try real quick. Let's try another demo here with a different case study. We're going to use this client named Diane, and I'm going to say that she has a couple of health issues that we get calls about a lot. As far as like, hey, my client has these health conditions, what's the best plan that they can go with? And in this case, it's COPD and diabetes. Okay, COPD is the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and diabetes, obviously, we know what that is. So again, just with this little bit of information here, I can go ahead and I can put her info in up top here. So let's do 11/9 of 1954. Her height is 5'2". She's 122 pounds. She's female and she's a non-smoker. We'll keep the state in Connecticut and 15,000. And then we'll go ahead and we'll just get rid of these from the previous client. And we'll go ahead and put in, okay, so she is taking Advair Discus to treat COPD. And we'll say that, just regular COPD. And this was 4 years ago when she was prescribed, and the treatment is still ongoing. Okay. Next medication is metformin, which she has used to treat diabetes. And that was 7 years ago. And the treatment is also ongoing. Okay. So again, now we have everything in here for Diane. She's looking for 15,000. We got her medications, COPD, and the diabetes. What can we get for her? So we're going to go ahead and click Analyze Data. And sometimes it can take up to a couple seconds for this to come through. Okay, perfect. Now, so if you recall from the previous one that we did for David, you saw that there was, they were preferred ratings that came up. So with Diane being, having COPD and diabetes, the best we can get her is a standard benefit. Okay. However, it is day one coverage. So you do notice where it says immediate. That means that, they are covered from day one. There is no waiting period. It's not like a graded modified plan or like a guaranteed issue. you know that you can get them, first day coverage, which is like, the best thing that you want to do for them. So again, we got Royal Neighbors coming in, fairly, less expensive than Transamerica. And then as you go down, the price increases a little bit. You'll notice here that, it goes from 122 and then it goes down to 95. That is because this Mutual of Omaha is a graded plan, meaning that, if death occurs within the first 2 years, it's return of premium plus interest. Same thing with the GTL Heritage plan. So just to kind of clear that up in case, if you are going down and you see like, oh, what, why'd the price drop a little bit? That is because that has a limited death benefit there. Finally, we'll see the guaranteed issues in there. Again, anything that is showing up in here, your client can qualify for. So let's say, for some reason, you used to have a contract with Royal Neighbors, but you just found out, hey, you were terminated and you actually have to get reappointed. But you do have Transamerica. In that situation, you could go ahead and pivot right over towards Transamerica and not have to, wait to get back to the client a day later or anything like that. You can just pivot towards any of these other carriers, which is really, really cool. Some other features with this too, you can easily, you can save the data, you can, or essentially save these, the quotes that you're running. You can email these over to the clients. You can actually send them a link as well, which would, provide them, all these various quotes. A couple different ways that you can do that. Again, I can set the available products, set the default states. That's always something as well, with the life insurance, that you want to make sure that the product is available in the state that you're selling in. I would say like most of the states are okay to sell in. The only ones you do have to worry about as far as product availability would be New York, as well as sometimes like California and then Washington. Sometimes you'll see that they have limited carriers available. But anyway, so, just going over these two examples here, just wanted to see if anybody has any questions, or I figure we could stop there real quick just to check in.
There were no real questions. Just if you could go over how agents get access to this just one more time.
Yeah,
it's a really
absolutely.
incredible tool. I'm very impressed with your demo. It's pretty
Right.
amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So let's see here. Okay, so they can literally just email me at mbolger@pfsinsurance.com. They could reach out to you, Stephanie. They can reach out to Greg. Anybody. All that I need is you to contact me so that I can send you a direct link for you to sign up so that you can get this for $19.95 per month. So again, if they send an email to Stephanie and say, hey, I want to get set up with Best Plan Pro, Stephanie, you can just forward that to me and I'll send the agent the individual link to get set up. Or again, you can reach out to me or Greg, anybody, and we'll get you these links today to get set up.
That's awesome. And if they bring in 5 final expense cases per month, they can get it for free?
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, we just want to see that, that you're using it, and, if you're writing, a little bit of business each month, we'll waive that fee completely for you.
That's awesome. Okay, great. That was the only comment or question, I should say. But if any, actually, hang on one second. There is one here. Hang on. It's just a question mark, so I don't see that. Oh, there we go. Hang on. They were all about the same price. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble trying to read the question. I guess it was just more of a comment. Okay.
Oh, okay.
If you guys have questions, please throw them out there in the chat or put them in the question box, and I'm keeping an eye on them. So
cool. Yeah, and I figure let me do like one more demo here. We'll do somebody that might have some questionable health issues, and we just really don't know, again, where to put them or what the best plan would be for their based on their health conditions.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so I'm just going to do, let's say, like a 70-year-old client. Let's make these up as we go here. Do female, 70 years old, non-tobacco, and let's say we'll do Connecticut. And let's say they're looking for 25,000 of coverage. Actually, here, we'll do it this way. Let's say that she can spend, up to $150 per month. Okay. Now, I'm going to go down to the health conditions here, and we can go in and, let's just say, let's type in cancer. Let's say that she doesn't currently have cancer, but she did, let's say it was, 3 years ago. Last treatment was, actually, let's just do 1 year ago. Okay. And let's try, let's just say like she's a diabetic as well. Okay. Years ago, treatment ongoing. Okay. So for this particular case, let's see. I'm going to go in and just click Analyze Data. Based on the cancer diagnosis from 3 years ago, and the last treatment was a year ago. Diabetes, she was diagnosed 3 years ago, and the treatment is still ongoing. So let's see what they come up with here. Okay. So, believe it or not, these companies here that you're seeing, Aflac and Aetna, they're both showing preferred immediate. And then the next ones down, you see like Royal Neighbors, Corebridge, where these are graded plans, okay? So this just goes to show that Aflac and Aetna literally are our two best final expense carriers because of how lenient they are with the underwriting. And from me knowing these carriers like the back of my hand, I know that, they only have a 2-year look back with cancer. So we noticed that she was 3 years ago with that diagnosis. So that's why you're seeing the preferred with Aetna and Aflac there. And then everything else, yeah, she could only get like a graded plan or a guaranteed issue plan. So that is really cool. And I did solve this based on $150 per month. So you're seeing the death benefit here with Aflac is actually, $28,160.99. And then you see the next one down with Aetna is actually a little bit less at $26K. So in this case, Aflac is the way to go. That's literally going to be the best plan by far for her to get. And I'll tell you, any agent that had this situation without this software, they'd be kicking this around for at least a week or a couple days, just making calls. Hey, is this person insurable? Oh, when was the cancer diagnosis? When was this? Blah blah blah. So this again just really saves time, and this client is going to be thrilled. They may not have thought that they could get any coverage, and you're coming back and saying, hey, we can get you a preferred rating with Aflac because they're super lenient with their underwriting compared to other carriers. So that's an excellent example of, again, why these two companies are the best ones for final expense, as well as somebody that would have just went to a guaranteed issue just thinking there was no way of them getting an immediate death benefit. So I really like that example. And again, I can get with any agent that wants to do like an individual example or just like a quick walkthrough of a potential client that they're working with, just to kind of see how that looks before they get set up. You can certainly reach out to myself or Greg, and we can certainly set up a time to do that with you. So I think that would probably be it. I could sit on this thing all day and do 100 different examples and stuff, but I think the best thing to do is at least contact us to get yourself set up with this, play around with it a little bit. You're going to be very impressed with how it works, and again, just how much time it's really going to save you there. So
Yep, awesome. It's amazing how much simpler it makes it. Like you said, you don't have to go bouncing around between carriers and wondering about underwriting and just settling on a product when it just sorts it out and gives you the best one available for that client's needs. That's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah, it definitely spoils me because when I first started here at Pinnacle about 10 years ago, we didn't have anything like this. So I had to read all the underwriting guides from all the carriers, kind of get myself up to speed with that, and then when they make updates, I have to make sure I know that, oh, hey, they only look back 3 years now for that condition. This thing is just like, I'm like, where was this 10 years ago? So
right. It saved you all that research time. There's a couple of questions in the chat.
Sure.
Somebody wants to know what companies are available in New York. I know New York's pretty limited, but do you know who's final expense in New York?
Yeah, sure. So, an easy way for you to do that is, you can certainly go on to the Pinnacle site, go to the quoting and to the final expense. You'll see the final expense quoting software, and you can literally just choose New York and go ahead and click Get Quotes, and then you'll see the carriers that we have available. I know it's very limited. Transamerica at this time is really the only one that we have for an immediate death benefit in New York. Let's see if we go to graded. Still Transamerica. If I go to guaranteed issue, I have Gerber Life. So Transamerica and Gerber Life at this time. We used to have Prosperity and we used to have Columbian, but they both pulled their products out of New York, so no longer have any contracts with them.
New York's tough for a lot of life, ancillary, all the good stuff, right?
Yeah, it can be tough, but we can usually find a solution for your client. Again, even if we only have one or two companies, I know Transamerica is very lenient with a lot of their health conditions, not as much as Aflac or Aetna, but they are fairly lenient with a lot of their stuff. And if the client can't get in with Transamerica, then we have the guaranteed issue where they're acceptable with regardless of their health. There's no health questions; they're automatically accepted. So that would be the other option if they can't qualify with Transamerica. So
another question.
Great question.
Mm-hmm. Yep, another question, and I think this was in regards to the last case that you just did there, where the Aflac and Aetna came up on top. The question is, how do you narrow it down between Aetna and Aflac?
That's a good question. So actually, Aflac and Aetna literally have it's the same application, and I can show you guys real quick here. But if I go on to Aflac's portal, this looks exactly like Aetna's portal, like the Aetna's senior products, right? It's like literally the same like chassis. So let me just go back to Aflac real quick. It's literally the same product. It's just that Aflac's rates are a little bit cheaper in certain conditions, and sometimes Aetna's are a little bit more cheaper in certain instances. It really all kind of depends on the age of the client and the death benefit and any of their health conditions. So a lot of times, if let's see here, let me just run a quick quote in Connecticut, and so I can show you guys. Okay, so we see Aflac here. Yep. And then the Ascendo product, which is Aetna, it's the CVS Health right here. So you'll see that Aflac's about $1 or so cheaper than the Ascendo there. So it's really just that they are the same product, and at that point I would just kind of put in the client's date of birth and see which one is going to be cheaper for the client, because it's not like they're getting something more if they go with Aflac versus Aetna. It's literally the same health questions, the same application. I like to say that Aflac stole it from Aetna. They're like, hey, we want to use this too. We're just going to put our name on it. Literally, it's the same exact product, same health questions. Just Aflac can offer a little bit better rates sometimes, and vice versa with Aetna.
Right, right. Okay, awesome.
Hopefully that helps.
I think so. I think that answered the question. I had another comment. What a fantastic program. So thank you. It is pretty incredible. And like we said, it definitely simplifies the process and enables you to go back to your client knowing that you're giving them the best choice for, their money.
Exactly. And it's also going to help your conversions. And retaining your clients as well. They're not going to go sign up with another agent, who's going to find them something cheaper. You already offered them literally the best rate that you can. So clients aren't going to be getting calls from other agents and jumping ship to go somewhere else. It's like they would if you got them with a guaranteed issue plan, knowing that somebody else could get them with an immediate plan. That's where you'll lose that business sometimes within the first couple months, causing a chargeback. So these are all things that it's really going to help your persistency, and certainly increase your business as well. So
that's amazing. Well, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on with us today.
Absolutely.
It's been an education for me personally, because I was not as familiar with this, obviously, as you guys are. You deal with it every day. So that's pretty incredible. So thank you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
absolutely.
go ahead and
And I was
the
going to say
screen.
real quick too. I'll send you some more info. Like I have some flyers and stuff on the Best Plan Pro. Obviously the contact info for people to get set up. And
Yeah, if you wanna send that
anything
all
else
over.
that I have, I'll get over to you so that you can
Yeah,
distribute to everybody on the call.
yeah, if you want to send that all over, we'll make sure that we get it out to everybody that registered, the contact information and all that good stuff. Like Mark said before, you can reach out to Mark and Greg directly at Pinnacle. You can reach out to myself or Lisa, or Teal. We're happy to share that information with you. And once Mark gets that stuff over to me, I will be sure to put it on the email that we send out to everyone that registered. Just
Perfect.
wanted to share with you guys. Obviously, we know that Mark and Greg presented this to us today. Just wanted to remind everybody here a little bit about Crowe on the Medicare side of things, not so much the life. We do a $500 monthly lead reimbursement program. If you want to know more about that, or if you haven't taken advantage of it, please give our office a call. It only requires that you have all of your active Medicare contracts with us. And then we can discuss what you're doing with the marketing money, with the lead money. Our T65 seminar program, that is for people aging into Medicare, and we will help support you by helping out with the cost, half of the cost of the vendor fee for your very first seminar. A little bit of contact information here at the end, myself, Lisa, and then of course, you guys know that we record all of our webinars and we put them all out on YouTube. So you just have to go out to YouTube and type in Crowe Medicare and our whole library will come up for you. And they're not all just Medicare videos, they're videos about different things. So please take a look out there. And if you have questions about anything we've done in the past, or if you have suggestions for something you'd like to see us talk about in the future, we are absolutely open to that. We have had Greg and Mark on with us a few times now. They've been wonderful, giving us an overview of life products, giving an overview on annuities. Obviously today was Best Plan Pro. So the guys are very knowledgeable. They're always willing to help. If you're not reaching out to us at Crowe, definitely reach out to them at Pinnacle. I don't see any other questions in the chat, guys. So I guess we'll give everybody back a little time in their day. I can't thank you guys all enough for coming out to join us today, taking your time out and listening to our presentation. So Greg, Mark, thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much. Absolutely.
Do you have anything you want to add, or are you all set?
Yeah, I think we're all set. I was just going to say, just going with what you said. Certainly reach out to us or reach out to Stephanie and Lisa over at Crowe. We'll be more than happy to help you, especially if you have a case that you're working on and you're not sure, where to go with it, or what the next steps might be. Certainly let us know, and we can work with you from there.
Yeah, if you're out there writing life business, this software is going to be an incredible help to save you time and make sure that your clients have the correct plan for them. So definitely check it out, guys. Thanks again, guys. I hope everybody has a wonderful first day of spring, and we'll see you guys again next Thursday. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks again.
Great job.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.